Morning all, this is Afghanistan. Here is Kabul, and this is where Bamiyan, where the Buddhas were. Here's Herat over here. Here's Kandahar down here in the desert. I'm about to do a fishing trip up this remote Panjshir Valley up here, going through Nuristan, all of this tribal area, fishing into here with the diaries of that guy that I was doing last year, fishing in Pakistan, and then coming up to Bagram. There's a really old mine here that's been going for 6,000 years, but it's very remote and hard to get to. And there's a very high mountain pass here that very few people go over, that I'm going to try to catch up onto this road. And then I've got to come up and register at Faizabad. Then I'm going to come down and fish this area here. It's meant to be really beautiful. And then come into the Wakam corridor, come along here, switch into a horse probably around here somewhere, and move and fish and stay in yurts up into this area, fish, try to get into this lake up here, and then come all the way back. And then I'm going to come back over this road, come back to Kunz, and then come back, probably cut down this road, come down over the big tunnel, and then come back to Kabul, and that will be the end of my trip.
All right, so going on a big adventure, going to go up the Panjshir Valley as you see on the map, and then go up into the Wakam, get a horse ride, fly fish those areas, come looping all the way back down, a big anti-clockwise Afghan tour. It's going to be awesome. I've got the diaries of that 1960s British colonial officer that I took to Pakistan that followed me a year ago when I took the motorbike around the top there, was horse riding at Chitral Valley and Swat Valley and Yasin Valley, all those sort of places. I'm going to go on the other side now, follow his diaries hopefully up into that area. It's high altitude, it's between 3 and nearly 5,000 meters high. They have a special snow trout that doesn't exist, or like an alpine trout, very sweet, that doesn't exist anywhere else. Hopefully catch some of those or have a look at them, let's see. And yeah, have a great general adventure. This is not a route that most people normally take. They normally take the better road, verted commas, which we'll be coming back on. This is a pure 4-wheel drive route for the next 4 or 5 days, in and out of reception. Let's see how it goes. Really excited. The next 10 days or so are going to be insane. I have looked forward to this for all my life, to go up to Wakam. I can't wait to show it to you. So that is Bagram Airfield, which a lot of you would have remembered from the Gulf War. It was built by the Russians and then went into disrepair when the Russians left. Then the Americans massively expanded it in their war when they were here. Huge expansion. It's got a 3.6 and a 4 kilometer long runway. That's huge, 4K runway to slow down a plane. Massive aeroplanes could come down here. It was the center of drone attacks and all that sort of stuff was here. It's a main military base of all of the NATO and US forces were in this area. A huge US hospital. Within one day, on August the 30th, which is a sort of day of independence they talk about, one day without notifying the Afghan army. Just think about that for a second. The US evacuated that base, left huge amounts of military, like the Russians did as well, and evacuated. Off they went. That was them gone on that one day. Very symbolic. It's the end of the month. You would have thought it maybe been orchestrated somewhere else. And then there was the war. The Taliban have tried to reconstruct it a little bit because it's a huge asset, but they just can't. It's kind of been falling into disrepair again. But Bagram Airbase, I wanted to see it's on the way up here and just sort of feel that gravity of pain and suffering that this place has caused so many innocent people as a hub of warfare around the world. And there's a number of these. It's also had all the detention centers, which is a polite way of saying it, I guess. These torture centers that they had in this area as well. Bagram Airfield, just north of Kabul, one of the largest airfields and military bases in the world. So we've just stopped in this little shop here on the side of the road. It's got all pots and pans, and we're going to buy a thermos, and because we're going camping and cooking up, we're going to buy, we've got a stove, but we're going to get a pots and saucepans and various bits and pieces. A kettle costs $200 is about $4 for one of those. It's great. And the saucepan costs about $4. This costs about $6 Australian. Decoys for shooting ducks next to a bird shop. Oh, it's a very local food. What's this called?
Bulani.
Bulani. Assalamu alaikum. Look at this. Deep fried pancake, basically, with what looks like chili. Oh, I hadn't realized there's something in it. Look at this. Leeks and boiled potatoes are in it. We've taken a bit of a hunk. That was spicy. It's really good. It's chewy. It's just a great snack. For like $1.
You need yogurt from the cow yogurt.
You got your balloon. Hello. And now we're just stopping here for some supplies, some food, some meat, eggs, that sort of stuff. This is the entrance to Panjsher, which is why it's such a easily defended, hard to attack area down these steep valleys. And look at this soil, it's just river rocks. We are now right here on this corner of Bagram, Pawa, Panjsher, and this is where we're going, Panjsher. All these tribes come together at this one point on this river that we're just crossing now. This is the single road to get into this valley. It's the only valley, and that's why no one's been able to take it. The Russians weren't able to take it, the Taliban weren't able to take it till after NATO. Very fierce, independent valley people. And you can see only single road with these huge, and that's maximum out zoom. And look, this vertical big mountains on either side. Really easy to attack, to defend, really hard to attack. So coming up to the Panjshir Valley, this is like super exciting. This is an area of Afghanistan in the northeast, which has been fiercely independent in these hill tribes. But this one in particular has always been kind of against the people who are here. So it was against the Russians, the invading forces, and then they thought they could be king of or head of Afghanistan. So once the Russians were taken out, they all then swamped down in Kabul, and that was part of the wars that was going on there. And then when the Taliban came in, they fought the Taliban, and this area is really hard to attack, and because it's just this one valley with these huge steep hills on either side. And you can see here, I'm standing on this just single high pass, and you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, maybe 8 destroyed Russian tanks from the 1980s standing just right around me as we look down into the only flat area, the big stadium. And then we're going to go up this valley and all the way to the top and try to fish this river as it gets smaller and some of the smaller tributaries. And it's way up here in the inland where the guy's diary from the 1960s that I have with a horse, where he went around the local tribes up here and he would go and talk to the local tribes, and also fly fish, and it's up in these fly fishing small little areas where there's snow trout way up the top, and there's also rainbow trout were introduced into this area, and I want to see if they still exist. I know they have trout, I know there's trout in there, but I want to see what type of trout. Whew, how exciting! The Panjshir Valley, one of the most fiercely independent places in the world. I should also mention that this area now is heavy Taliban. Since the Taliban have got control of this of Afghanistan, they have put in the fiercest fighters of Afghanistan, of the Taliban, came in here. We've gone through multiple checkpoints. There's lots of security around. Trying to be quite quiet on taking videos at the moment, but now this used to be a free area, really beautiful people in this area. Now that everybody's in full black hijab, a lot of Taliban with their with all of their Taliban scarves and everything going on, and lots of weapons, more so than ever seen before. And the GDI people, which are sort of the elite Taliban units, roadblock after roadblock all the way up this valley. As they're trying to take control of this valley, they've swamped a lot of people down, like thousands, if not tens of thousands, have been forcibly moved out down to Kabul or have left down to Kabul, and Taliban have moved heavily into this area, into all the towns as we go through. And one last thing, that football stadium down there is hardly used obviously anymore because of games and sports like that are kind of not allowed. They do play a little bit of football apparently, but not much. And all those windows are now Taliban offices, army offices. That's Panjshir, the main capital of this area, where we're going to go down and register. I'll see if we can get some video shots down there, but it'll probably be pretty hard to get some shots in there in the Panjshir, right at the head of the Panjshir Valley. And as I said, we're going to go woohoo all the way up and over the top. A very remote road is to come. Filling up with fuel. Diesel flashing a bit on the screen, but it's not flashing when I look at it. 67, that's about $1 Australian a litre, and petrol is 70, so that's like $1.05 or something, just the way it should be. Not as much tax as Australia. What are we, $2 for stop in the bathroom? This is the cleanest toilet around apparently, which is not so bad. Pretty clean. Bucket to wipe your bum. We're stopping quickly. Behind me is Ahmad Shah Hassoud's gravestone. He's the hero of this Panjshir area. He's such a revered character here that the Taliban are still so frightened of him. You're not allowed to have telephones, computers in this entire area, and otherwise they'll brand them. You've got to hand them in. But his cemetery is behind me. You can see down in the valley behind me as well. Beautiful little valley, lots of fertileness. Such a violent place, and this place has been resistant for hundreds of years. It's had the French, it's then had the Americans against the Russians, and then had I guess Americans against the Taliban, and now it's just dominated by serious Taliban people. Along this river, dug in, you can see here it's probably washed down a little bit. Along the side are loads of tanks from the Russian war, and they tried to penetrate into this valley unsuccessfully. So much death and destruction you can see everywhere. It's still here 40 years on.
یکی دوست باش یکم خوشم این داره خیلی داره اگر سیر میگیری که ای باکس میده Nee, Lola, the cam is in it, government inside.
Time to buy another local cad. We've just come up from the river down there at about 1,500 meters, and we've come up now to 2,500 meters, and we're going to go up to over 3,500 meters. These hills here are over 4,500 meters tall. They get full of snow in the winter, this whole area. And then we're going to go up there, and it's nearly 5,000 meters is the pass that we're going over. And that's where we're going to go fishing, way up into the high plains, a very special type of snow trout. Oh, these are so good, these grapes. So sweet. Well, I've come up this valley just behind me. It's very windy, so I'm ducking down behind this rock here. And I've found this tiny little stream where it rose up from about 1,500 meters, and we're now at nearly 2,500 meters high. And it still goes up further. So I'm gonna stop and just fish. Look how beautiful this is. This tiny little stream, if I can find some little pockets and get out of this wind. Do you like my hat? I just bought a new fishing hat from this valley, the Panjshir Valley. This was heavily mined in all the wars because these guys are fiercely independent. Even now they are against the Taliban, and so it is a fiercely independent area. So there's a lot of landmines around here, and many of them haven't been cleared or even begun to be cleared because clearly they're the opposition to the Taliban. So I'm a little bit wary wandering up the riverbed. Just got to watch out for landmines and unexploded ordnances, I guess. But the fishing should be great. There are a couple of little pools I've just found, one just here and one just up there. I'm going to see if I can cast a fly. The wind is really swirling about as the valley floor has really heated up. It must have been 35 degrees and hot down there, and these rocks have heated up, and all that hot air is rushing up the valley in gusts as the cold air then drops down. So you get these no wind like now, and then you get these massive gusts. But let's see how we get on. Well, it's super windy and super gusty. I'm going to go up here a little bit further, then I might call it quits and see if we can head down to another river. This is all quite white watery and landminey. Unfortunately, my cheap reel that I bought online before I came here, rod's doing pretty well because I thought I might lose both of them. Unfortunately, it's the spool is breaking, so it has no, the ratchet's gone. So I'm going to have to fish in a funny way. So all those perfectionists out there that see how I'm fishing, casting, it's because I've got to hold the line with my other hand while I cast. It's a bit of a faff, but it'll work.